He's the supposedly controversial comedian, a bloke from Australia who thinks he's funny. He thought it might be a good idea to unbook me from his show because he concluded I was the least popular human being on planet Earth. But it's good to see Adam Hills.
It's the 10th series of The Last Leg.
I know.
Do you remember right at the beginning?
Yep.
When you didn't know whether it was going to last, presumably, a few episodes?
We were just hoping we would get to 10 episodes when it was the Paralympics. That's all we thought. Like, the Paralympics is once every 4 years. We're not going to make a career out of this. There's a few things that we did early on. I kind of got wound up and went on a couple of rants. And then the power of the internet, where people would start sharing those little 3-minute clips, that suddenly, that would get more views than the people that watch the show. So maybe that had something to do with it. I have no problem with Ewan McGregor. If I honestly, last night at 9 o'clock, if I'd looked in my diary and gone, oh, I have to sit on a couch with Piers tomorrow, I would say no.
And yet you're here.
Well, because you're here.
Oh!
And that makes... If this show was Good Morning Britain...
You shameless little suck-up,
Finally,
Hills.
we've established the real reason.
If this show was called Good Morning Britain with Piers Morgan, you would never have a guest.
Let me ask you this. Well, actually, you'd have one guest, me, and it would probably rate through the roof. It's the others that are dragging us down.
Oh, your world of delusion.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Hills. I don't know why I'm calling you Mr, because I have little respect for you, obviously, after that outburst. But what right does an Australian have to come over here and basically take our jobs, take our jobs, and be, you know, hectorous about our political system, about the EU referendum, you know, well, sometimes make us laugh. In other words, you know, you're an outsider. It reminds me a bit when I went to America and told them how to deal with guns. It's like there's a certain point, it's like, who are you to tell us to be bossing us around about our politics?
It's an excellent point. I think being an outsider, you get a different view. You look at it differently, and I think you know, when you grow up here and the way things are, you kind of just accept them. And I think when you're an outsider, you can go, hang on, that doesn't make any sense. And there are bits of British politics that don't make sense to me.
What are the maddest things, do you think, about our system and about the year we've just been through?
Oh my goodness, the year that you've just been through. Well, it's a thing that we also have in Australia, unfortunately, which is this idea of Australianness and Britishness, and this is the way Britain has been for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it can't change. But of course, everything changes, and everything gets a little bit better and different. And I think we have that in Australia as well. So I mean, all the best comedians are the outsiders. You know, when Billy Connolly goes to Australia and go, "Why do you drive like that?" People go, "Oh my goodness, we've never thought of that before." So I think there is, you know, to a degree, being a bit of an outsider. And also you've got, you know, John Oliver in America at the moment, talking about the American political system. You've got Trevor Noah, who's from South Africa. Sometimes being an outsider means you pick up on things that the insiders haven't seen or just accept.
Now, you're off on tour at some point, aren't you? And you're also raising money for a very good and rather sad cause, aren't you, at some stage? You've got a fundraiser coming up. Oh, have you not? Your agent hasn't told you about that. I'll brief you later. But tell us...
That's awkward. So the charity thing that you know nothing about.
Well, talk about the tour.
Well, OK, so the tour, I just finished a tour called Clown Ha, and after every show I would go out into the foyer with a bucket for a local charity and just shake a bucket. So the reason I don't know which one you're talking about is there are about 30 or 40 different local charities.
Right.
Well, that's brilliant. I mean, if you're raising money for 30 or 40 local charities, I can understand you'd get confused about which particular one.
Well, what I would do, every theatre I would go to, I would either contact the theatre or just go online and then find a good charity that was nearby, usually a hospice of some sort that was doing great work. And then, you know, because it's local, because everyone knows it, they want to put in a little bit more money and they want to help out. So you end up actually raising more money for someone that needs it more. So there was about 30 or 40 different charities. I think it was about £200,000 that was raised.
You're a good man.
Well, I think we've moved from a very uncomfortable moment to the Archangel
moment.
Gabriel. But let's...
let's talk about you again.
No, I was actually going to talk about Donald Trump quickly, because from a comedy point of view, you must be absolutely thrilled Trump won.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so the night... We were on air the night after the election.
I came on.
Yes, and we prepared for a Hillary victory. Not because we thought it was going to happen, but because we knew that if she won, it was going to be harder to make funny.
Right.
So let's write the jokes now. And we knew that if Trump got in, right, this thing writes itself. So we woke up the next morning and went, OK, this is going to be comedy gold. And it is, but it's also... It's hard to know, as a comedian, how... you know, you don't want to trivialise the guy who might be doing scary stuff. And some of the things that he's instituting, and I know you said the same about the travel ban, that, you know, is possibly ill-advised and possibly inflammatory, and you go, well, yeah, if all we do is make jokes about him being orange and having
fine
weird...
line, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So we've got to point out that there's some stuff that we don't agree with as well. But also, I mean, Sean Spicer is the comical Ali of a new generation, his press secretary.